I really believe this, but I think anybody on this show is replaceable. And
You're not. They're not going to sack you.
Thomas Mark Harmon, an American actor and former football player, is best known for his role as Leroy Jethro Gibbs on the series NCIS. The show has captivated audiences worldwide for 19 seasons with its compelling storyline, unforgettable characters, and unwavering patriotism. However, tensions arose between Harmon and a co-star behind the camera that led to her departure. What happened between them? Join us as we explore the untold stories of NCIS, especially those surrounding Mark Harmon and behind the scenes of the show. Do you like the character Mark Harmon? If so, please comment too below. Before we get into the stories, let's look at Thomas Mark Harmon's childhood. Harmon early life. Mark Harmon is not too focused on becoming a famous star, even though he is one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood. The actor has always tried to keep his personal life private and away from the limelight when possible, living a low-key life in California. Despite starring in many big movies and becoming an icon of the series NCIS, Harmon has maintained a humble lifestyle and kept his personal life low-key. Born on September 2, 1951, Thomas Mark Harmon entered the world in Burbank, California, the youngest of 3 children. His father, Tom Harmon, was a famous sportscaster and Heisman Trophy winner in football, while his mother, Elise Knox, was an actress, model, and artist. He has 2 older sisters, Kristen Nelson, an actress and painter who was married to the late singer Rick Nelson, and Kelly Harmon, a model and actress who was married to John DeLorean, the famous car manufacturer. Harmon's maternal grandparents were immigrants from Austria, contributing to his multicultural family lineage. Mark Harmon's career began in the early 1970s, and he has since appeared in numerous films and television shows. He is best known for his role as Leroy Jethro Gibbs on the hit TV series NCIS, a role that made him a household name worldwide. Before that, Harmon played many other memorable roles, including Dr. Robert Caldwell on St. Elsewhere, Detective Dickie Cobb on Reasonable Doubts, and Dr. Jack McNeil on Chicago Hope. In addition, Mark Harmon has appeared in many notable films such as Chasing Liberty, Summer School, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, The Prince of Bel-Air, Stealing Home, Wyatt Earp, and Freaky Friday. The variety of roles he has played has demonstrated his versatility and enduring talent throughout his career. Before entering the world of acting, Harmon was a talented football player. He graduated from Harvard Westlake in 1970 and continued his studies at Pierce College in Los Angeles for 2 years. After an excellent season at Pierce, Harmon received offers from many prestigious football colleges, but he ultimately chose to attend the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA. At UCLA, Harmon became the starting quarterback for the UCLA Bruins football team in 1972 and 1973. He made a splash in his debut, helping the Bruins defeat the 2-time national champion Nebraska Cornhuskers 2017 on a game-winning goal by Efren Herrera. It was a memorable victory for the Bruins, who were 18-point underdogs but pulled off an upset at home at the Los Angeles Coliseum. Harmon finished his college football career with a stellar 17-5 record and was honored with the Football Foundation's All-Around Excellence Award in his senior year. However, despite his impressive college football career, he was not selected in the 1974 NFL Draft. After leaving the field, Harmon turned to a career in broadcasting and graduated from UCLA with a Bachelor of Arts in Communications in 1974. In 2010, he was named an inaugural member of the Pierce College Athletic Hall of Fame. What happened after graduating from college? What made him join the acting career? Let me find out. Career and appearance. After graduating from college, Mark Harmon considered pursuing a career in law or advertising. However, after trying his hand at business, where he worked as a sales manager, Harmon ultimately decided to pursue acting full-time. Throughout his career, Harmon is best known for his roles in law enforcement and the medical field. His first television appearance outside of sports was in a cereal commercial for Kellogg's Product 19, alongside his father, Tom Harmon, who was a spokesman for the brand for many years. Support from his famous family, including his sister-in-law Kristen, helped Harmon land his first acting role in an episode of Ozzy's Girls. In the early years of his career, Harmon appeared in popular television shows such as Adam 12, Policewoman, and Emergency. He also appeared in the series 905 Wild, a show about animal control officers in Los Angeles County, but the show was not as successful as expected. Harmon then received more attention in Sam, a series produced by Jack Webb about the relationship between an LAPD officer and his canine companion. Harmon's breakthrough role came in the television movie Eleanor and Franklin: The White House Years, 1976, in which he played Robert Dunlap. The role earned him an Emmy nomination for Best Supporting Actor. In the following years, he appeared in such series as Centennial, Del Vecchio, The Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew Mysteries, and Laverne and Shirley. In the 1970s, he also appeared in films such as Comes a Horseman and Beyond the Poseidon Adventure, 1978, and then played Deputy Dwayne Thibodeau in the series 240 Robert, 1979, which revolved around the operations of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department's Emergency Services Division. Harmon's big break came in the 1980s when he joined the television series Flamingo Road as Fielding Carlisle, the husband of Morgan Fairchild's character. Although the show only lasted 2 seasons, Harmon's appearance helped him establish his position in the entertainment industry. He then continued his role as Dr. Robert Caldwell in St. Elsewhere. Notably, his character in the series became one of the first characters on television to be infected with HIV, creating a memorable mark in Harmon's career. Harmon's career breakthrough came in 1986 when People magazine named him the sexiest man alive. That same year, he played serial killer Ted Bundy in the TV movie The Deliberate Stranger. Demonstrating his versatility as an actor, Harmon also appeared in several notable films, including Let's Get Hairy, 1986, Summer School, 1987, and The Presidio, 1988, where he shared the screen with big names like Sean Connery and Meg Ryan. Within the context of the NBC series Reasonable Doubts, Harmon would portray the role of Chicago police detective Dickie Cobb for a period of 2 seasons. In 1993, he appeared in an episode of Hearts of the West, a comic western series that was broadcast on CBS. In that episode, he played the role of a rodeo clown. Another actor who would go on to star in NCIS was Sean Murray. Harmon made her debut on the ABC television network in 1995 with the show Charlie Grace, in which she played the character of a private investigator. Immediately following the conclusion of the series' brief run, he returned to ensemble medical dramas with his role as Dr. Jack McNeil on Chicago Hope, which he played from 1996 to 2000. Additionally, he served as the character of astronaut Wally Schirra in an episode of the mini-series From the Earth to the Moon that aired in the year 1998. Do you know which role catapulted Harmon to fame? He has been recognized and won many awards for this role. Let's see how Harmon became famous. NCIS stardom. Mark Harmon has risen to the status of a superstar as a result of his outstanding performance as Leroy Jethro Gibbs on the television show NCIS and his numerous cameo appearances in other hugely successful films. Having said that, let's begin by getting to know NCIS a little bit better. In the United States, the first season of the television series National Security Investigations, NCIS, was broadcast. This series is a military police procedural on television. In addition to incorporating comic aspects, parts of military drama, and elements of police procedural, the show revolves around a fictional group of special agents who are members of the Naval Criminal Investigative Service. In the 8th season of the CBS television show JAG, episodes 20 and 21 were titled Ice Queen and Meltdown, respectively. These episodes established the idea of the show as well as the characters. As a spin-off of JAG, the series made its debut on CBS on September 23, 2003, at its premiere. Now in its 21st complete season, it has entered broadcast syndication on the USA Network and is currently in its 5th season overall. The first several episodes of the National Security Agency, NCIS series, were created and produced by Donald P. Belisario and Don McGill, respectively. As of the year 2022, NCIS is the 3rd longest-running scripted live-action television series in the United States that is currently broadcast during prime time. This stands in comparison to Law and Order, SVU, Law and Order, Special Victims Unit, and NCIS. For a longer period than any other scripted series, it has been shown in primetime in the United States. The show was formerly referred to by its initial title, Navy NCIS, which is an abbreviation for Naval Criminal Investigative Service. Over time, it became known by its abbreviation, NCIS. A two-part episode served as the basis for the NCIS Los Angeles spin-off that was produced for the 6th season. An additional two-part episode was produced during the 11th season, and it was this episode that gave rise to the second spin-off series, which is called NCIS New Orleans. Even though the first and second seasons did not receive a particularly positive response, with ratings that did not even make it into the top 30, the program had a significant upswing in the third season, which frequently ranked in the top 20. According to the results of a Harris survey that was carried out online in 2011, the most popular television show in the United States was determined to be NCIS. As it drew to an end in its 10th season, it once again established itself as the most popular television program in the United States from 2012 to 2013. Furthermore, the National Security Agency, NCIS, has surpassed Gunsmoke to become the longest-running scripted primetime television series under the CBS umbrella. It was on January 5, 2024, that the news was made that the prequel NCIS Origins would be included in the seasons of NCIS that would air between 2024 and 2025. The announcement that Paramount will be the only broadcaster of a second spin-off series, dubbed NCIS Tony and Ziva, was made public on February 28, 2024, for the first time. On April 9, 2024, the renewal for the 22nd season of NCIS was announced. Harmon portrayed the character of Secret Service Special Agent Simon Donovan on the West Wing during a 4-part narrative arc that aired in May of 2002. It was for this particular role that he was nominated for an Emmy for the second time, exactly 25 years after he had gotten his first nomination. In April of 2003, JAG and NCIS creator Donald P. Belisario cast Harmon in a guest starring role in 2 episodes of JAG. Belisario had seen Harmon on the West Wing, which led to the casting of Harmon. Harmon portrayed the part of Leroy Jethro Gibbs, an NCIS agent who had previously worked as a Marine and an NVCIS agent. In these episodes, Harmon played the character of one of the NCIS agents. Although the actor, who was 52 years old at the time, was already well known in Hollywood, he had no clue that the program would ultimately become so popular. For more than 18 years, Mark had a consistent presence on NCIS. A conversation between the actor with Larry King took place in 2014, during which the actor stated that the crew and cast were the ones responsible for the show's enduring success. He told me that he believes we have invested a significant amount of time and effort. It is my opinion that a great number of individuals are responsible for the fact that it was not constantly as popular. It is necessary to give credit to the producers and the actors for ensuring that the show addresses how characters are treated. The month of September marked the beginning of Harmon's tenure as Gibbs on the CBS show NCIS. The People's Choice Awards presented him with 6 nominations, one of which was for Favorite TV Crime Program Actor in 2017. In 2017, he was the recipient of this award, which he also ended up winning. All of the actors with whom he had previously collaborated on Chicago Hope, including Rocky Carroll, Lauren Holly, and Jane Brooke, were there on the set with him. Since 2008, he has also been involved in the production and executive producing duties of the show. The departure of Gibbs, who was portrayed by Harmon, was a permanent departure from the program that took place in the 4th episode of the 19th season. This departure was started by the events that took place in the season finale. For more than 18 years, Mark had a consistent presence on NCIS. A conversation between the actor with Larry King took place in 2014, during which the actor stated that the crew and cast were the ones responsible for the show's enduring success. He told me that he believes we have invested a significant amount of time and effort. It is my opinion that a great number of individuals are responsible for the fact that it was not constantly as popular. It is necessary to give credit to the producers and the actors for ensuring that the show addresses how characters are treated. The month of September marked the beginning of Harmon's tenure as Gibbs on the CBS show NCIS. The People's Choice Awards presented him with 6 nominations, one of which was for Favorite TV Crime Program Actor in 2017. In 2017, he was the recipient of this award, which he also ended up winning. All of the actors with whom he had previously collaborated on Chicago Hope, including Rocky Carroll, Lauren Holly, and Jane Brooke, were there on the set with him. Since 2008, he has also been involved in the production and executive producing duties of the show. The departure of Gibbs, who was portrayed by Harmon, was a permanent departure from the program that took place in the 4th episode of the 19th season. This departure was started by the events that took place in the season finale. Harmon had a close professional relationship with his NCIS co-stars, many of whom became close friends. But Mark Harmon, best known for his starring role as Leroy Jethro Gibbs, has left NCIS. How much of a disappointment is his departure? And can NCIS continue without him? Join me in finding out. Mark Harmon leaves NCIS. NCIS, which has been on CBS for the greatest amount of time, is a scripted primetime series that chronicles the exploits of federal special agents who are entrusted with detecting terrorist plans, protecting Navy and Marine Corps secrets, and investigating significant military crimes. Throughout the program's long existence, Tony, Abby, Kate, and even Ziva's replacement on Kate's side have all departed from the show. Don McGill and Donald P. Belisario, a prolific creator and producer, are the individuals responsible for the television shows NCIS, Magnum PI, Quantum Leap, and Airwolf. However, no other departure seemed to have the same impact as Harmon's. Despite the absence of Agent Gibbs, the series NCIS was able to continue its operations owing to Gary Cole, who assumed the role of team leader. The practice of replacing notable performers on the CBS series is not new to the network. After Harmon left the program at the beginning of the 19th season, CBS had a lot of opportunities to evaluate the show's possibility of continuing without him. In the season of NCIS, what happened to Gibbs's last plot point? Gibbs's exit from NCIS came after a protracted investigation, which is significant from a storyline point of view. In Harmon's second-to-last episode, the team mistakenly assumed that a serial murderer was responsible for the deaths that they had witnessed. However, it turned out that Jason Wiles, a hired hitman, was the one involved in the murders. Immediately following his abandonment of FBI agent Alden Parker Gary Cole, the assassin was transported to the place that Gibbs sought in exchange for information. Although the slayer admitted to destroying Gibbs's boat before blowing himself up, he did not reveal to Gibbs who had hired him until after the situation had already occurred. During his trip to Naktok, Alaska, Gibbs conducted research on Sunava Industries, a company whose impending copper mining project was likely to have a devastating impact on the surrounding area. Gibbs and the team from NCIS were able to piece together evidence that linked Sunava's CEO, Sonia Eberhardt Valerie Pettiford, to the murder of the journalist who was researching the mine. This was accomplished after it was discovered that Pettiford had hired a hitman to eliminate anyone who might reveal the extent of the environmental devastation that the project would entail. Throughout the 18th season of NCIS, Mark Harmon was ready to continue his career. In exchange for the continuation of the series, he was able to get a quick cameo appearance after the 19th season. Because he is both a producer and a longtime fan of the series, he is concerned about the direction that the program is headed. Leaving the show at the beginning of a season rather than at the end of a season was the most effective strategy for NCIS to increase its chances of being renewed. With Harmon absent, NCIS had the opportunity to demonstrate that it could keep people interested. Because of his assistance to Gibbs, Parker was able to obtain a post with the National Crime Intelligence Service, NCIS. According to the interview that he received, what was the key reason that he left his position? In the course of an interview, Mark Harmon addressed his decision to retire from his position. I was feeling weary for a very extended length of time. As a result of accepting the post, I was required to reduce the amount of time I spent traveling and acting, as well as to remain at home with my tiny family. The first day of work for us began at 22 hours, and I have to admit that I had quite high hopes for how things would go. However, throughout the first 4 years, we went through several days that were quite comparable to that. Given that Gibbs opted for a tranquil retirement rather than a heroic death, there is still the possibility that he will make a comeback at a later time. This information was confirmed by showrunner Steve Binder in a post that he posted on Instagram on the same evening. Dan Harmon quit the show. Although he is both an executive provider and a close friend, Mark continues to play a significant role in the show. And after leaving, he revealed some reasons for his departure. What were those revelations? What could have caused Mark Harmon to give up such a career peak? Without making you wait any longer, the answer will be revealed right after this. On-set feuds. Even though Mark Harmon is frequently considered to be the show's beating heart, we would not have been able to keep NCIS alive for such a long time without Gibbs, the affectionate father figure. Although this is true, it does not mean that the actor did not encounter difficulties while filming the episode. The new spin-off series NCIS Europe has just been released, and it appears that Mark Harmon is still very much involved in his long-running feud with his former co-star. This rivalry begins in the beginning of the show. NCIS, on the other hand, has exceeded all other television shows in terms of the length of time it has been shown. The television show about the military police procedural has been airing for 30 years and has more than 450 episodes. Since there is so much history packed into a single television series, it is unavoidable that there will be at least one or two arguments on set. According to several of Harmon's former co-stars, he was the motivation behind several feuds that took place behind the scenes. The disagreement between Michael Weatherly and Mark Harmon was widely known to the public and is still very much alive and strong. What makes Mark Harmon's feud with Michael Weatherly so notable? Is it work-related or personal? Let's find out. Mark Harmon's feud with Michael Weatherly. One of Harmon's former co-workers said that the actor still has little tolerance for Weatherly's antics on set. According to the insider who spoke with Closer, Michael is a major source of irritation for him. He causes all sorts of problems. Harmon continues to view Michael as a loose cannon, even after all these years away. Having animosity between co-workers is something that happens rather often. The majority of portions of beef do irreparable damage to relationships, whether they start as misunderstandings or escalate into full-blown arguments. Harmon and Weatherly's animosity never reached a horrible point, which is good news for NCIS viewers. Weatherly admitted to the Futon Critic that he wasn't perfect when filming NCIS in 2007. For Weatherly, the philosophical gulf between Harmon and himself was the deciding factor in their meetings. Weatherly stated that Mark Harmon and I were on opposing sides. While I was in the North Pole, he kept staring down at the ice and asked, "What's wrong with your polarity? What's happening?" In my opinion, the water flows in the opposite direction, and his confusion about my presence was evident from the very beginning. Weatherly had a revelation about how unlike he was from his co-star on a certain occasion. I received a rubber pistol and a phony badge when we were doing the upfront for the pilot, which is what I responded when asked about the greatest part by CNN's Showbiz Today or one of those things. Now Harmon was staring at me as if to say, "Is that your CNN answer?" After a few Count Chocula bowls, I felt like a drunken child. There has been a price to pay for Michael's Weatherly conduct, you know. In 2016, Weatherly departed from NCIS to take the stage in the courtroom thriller Bull. The show's success led CBS to renew it and try to lock it into a long run. Intending to make Eliza Dushku a permanent cast member, the show signed her to a 3-episode deal. However, Weatherly's contract was immediately terminated by Bull producers when Dushku claimed that she had received many unwanted comments from Weatherly. Dushku received a 9.5 compensation following her firing, following a thorough inquiry. Weatherly told the New York Times that he was sorry for his actions and that he had spoken to Dushku about them. Weatherly admitted that during the filming of our show, she poked fun at some phrases in the script. Immortalized for having insulted Eliza, I promptly apologized after she informed me that my language and attempts at comedy were not to her liking. My first reaction was misguided. Upon more consideration, I now see that my statement was neither humorous nor improper. Furthermore, I regret the hurt this has caused Eliza. The conditions that would lead the show's creator and story's genius to depart mid-production are difficult to fathom, says Donald P. Belisario. Even though Belisario's 2007 departure from the program was devastating, his influence will live on. It was later verified, however, rumors had persisted for some time that the creator's departure was related to the star's demands. Harmon was not pleased with Belisario's disorganized approach to the program, and their relationship deteriorated as a result. Hollywood Creative Differences was the title given to the show's controversy by NCIS co-creator Don McGill in an article he wrote for The Hollywood Reporter. During his time on NCIS, Mark had another famous feud, specifically with Paulie Perrette. What do you think led to Perrette's departure from NCIS? Keep watching to find out. NCIS is known for its procedural format, but arguably the best thing about it is the ensemble's chemistry. Mark Harmon's feud with Paulie Perrette. The members of the MCRT have gone through some transitions throughout its history. Nonetheless, the relationship between Gibbs and Abby stands out as one of the most noteworthy. Before Perrette's departure, the situation did not return to its previous state behind the scenes. An abbreviated version of her narrative of the terrible incident she had with Mark Harmon's dog is presented in the following paragraphs. The issue had been resolved for a considerable amount of time, and executives from CBS even made a passing reference to the idea of her coming back in the year 2024. But in her last remark on the matter, Perrette made it quite apparent that she was unyielding in her choice to leave NCIS. She stated that she had no desire to work with Harmon again, and she made this crystal plain in her statement. This remark was made in 2019 during her stint on the program Broke, which unfortunately did not last very long. Despite this, there's still hope that she will eventually return, especially after the Ducky tribute episode in NCIS Season 21 referenced Abby. What were Harmon's struggles? Keep watching to find out. Personal struggles. Even before he became a famous actor, Mark Harmon was a highly active athlete. Sports and physical fitness have so always been integral parts of his way of life. The former NCIS star is notoriously tight-lipped about his personal life. Although he has discussed his passion for fitness in an interview, he opened up about how Pilates became his new obsession following a shoulder injury. The father of two spoke about his love of the exercise routine with Men's Journal, stating, "It kicks my ass. Pilates was a lifesaver when I was nursing a shoulder problem. My physical therapist was quite focused on that. What these machines do is kick you in the behind. I was a serious runner after college," he went on to say. "Every week I would put in 60 to 70 miles. My current situation would be better if I could get part of that returned." Managing the apparatus is the crux of Pilates, which is twice as challenging. In an earlier interview with TV Insider, he discussed the reasons for his decision not to acquire Instagram or Twitter, saying, "It's who we are. He and his wife Pam Dober value their privacy. No leaving the house for us. I'm not active on either Twitter or Facebook. Our boys also have no interest in that. Even though Pam and I have both established a livelihood in this industry, there is one aspect that feels off." Mark's departure from NCIS as Leroy Gibbs in Season 19 was a devastating blow to his legion of fans, and they continue to wonder if Gibbs will make a comeback. In a special feature for the Season 19 DVD release, he discussed his choice to leave the program, which was almost a year after he left. In an interview about his character's legacy and the show's conclusion to his storyline, he revealed that he enjoyed returning to the drama each season to take on new and challenging material, suggesting that he may have felt differently after nearly 20 years on the show. Behind his brilliant career, Mark also has a romantic marriage and a happy little family with actress Pam Dober. Do you know this couple? The following revelations will make you jealous of them. Mark's marriage and romance. Mark Harmon fell in love with Pam Dober, an actress best known for her role in Mork and Mindy in 1986. Although their friends had planned to set them up on a group date, Harmon, who preferred a more direct approach, decided to take the initiative. In an interview with People that November, he shared, "I thought, can I just call her? Get her number and call her me." And he did. After getting Pam's number, Harmon called and heard an answering machine. He intended to leave a message, but Pam answered. The two quickly connected, went on a date that night, and they never stopped seeing each other again. 2 years later, in 1987, Mark and Pam married and had 2 sons, Sean and Ty. They recently celebrated their 36th wedding anniversary, maintaining a strong and private relationship in California. The couple is very private about their personal life, and Mark rarely talks about his family in interviews, although he often expresses admiration and pride for Pam. In a 2019 interview, Harmon revealed that he has a habit of changing the rings on his ring finger when he's not working. Whenever I'm not shooting, I like to wear this ring, or one of my many, on my ring finger to symbolize my pride in being married and the person I'm married to. I'm proud of her, he shared, expressing his deep admiration for Pam. Like his counterpart in NCIS, Mark is extremely brave. How does that show? Let's continue to explore. Let's see how he risks his life to save others. Mark's courage. Additionally, in the year 1996, the actor went to great efforts to save a young person who was trapped inside a burning automobile. Even though the driver, who was just 16 years old, got out of the automobile, his passenger, who was also 16 years old, Colin Specht, was unable to escape. Mark did not waste any time in taking action after he witnessed the crash that occurred close to his property in Brentwood. He immediately began sledgehammering the car windows and pulling Colin to safety on the spot. In a statement expressing their thanks to Mr. Harmon, the Lawson Fire Department stated, "The youths owe their lives to his action." There is a press secretary named Brian Humphrey. In an interview with CBS many years later, Colin, who was extremely grateful to Mark for saving his life, detailed the episode and said that he would not have lived without Mark's intervention. Colin was extremely grateful to Mark for his intervention. "I won't take credit for it, because if the car explodes and I'm there next to the car, then you're talking about two young boys who don't have a father," Mark said in 2013, reiterating his amazing humility throughout the tragedy. "I won't take credit for it." Are you curious about Mark's current life after leaving NCIS? Is he regretting his decisions? Let's follow how Mark lives with his decisions. Mark today. Mark Harmon has remained closely connected to the NCIS family, despite leaving the show after 19 seasons as an executive producer. After leaving NCIS, Harmon turned his attention to a new project with his first non-fiction book, Ghosts of Honolulu. The book delves into the lives of Japanese spies, Japanese-American spy hunters, and little-known historical aspects of Pearl Harbor. The project is a step forward in his writing career and also reflects Harmon's passion for history. In an interview with People last year, Harmon shared about his career and new project. "I'm leaving the show, but I'm not retiring." He also emphasized, "I always think you can learn from history," referring to his latest book. Harmon hopes to take readers on a journey into the origins of the Naval Criminal Investigative Service, NCIS, through little-known history. He revealed that these agents performed important secret work that went largely unrecognized. What are your thoughts on Mark Harmon leaving NCIS? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.